First impressions. Beware of first impressions. Beware of rash judgment. Oh, we're all subject to this. Every one of us. When we meet somebody for the first time, we conjure up in our mind an image of what we think that person might be. And we judge them by the way they look, or their hairstyle, or the clothes that they wear, or some other thing. And sometimes we are so off base. We do not even begin to have the slightest idea of what behind that image is. And we have stories of this throughout life of people making rash judgments. And they were so off base. And we judge people, and we shouldn't, because judgment belongs to God. But we are all his creatures, and he made us, each and every one of us, unique and special and well-loved. And there's a story that says that a man went down into a subway one day, and he brought with him a violin. And he played that violin for a number of hours in the subway. And he made heavenly music. But he went down in the subway with a baseball cap and a t-shirt on, and he looked like a street person, just any old other panhandler trying to make a buck. Oh, some people stopped just a little bit, listened to the music and went on. Most people, however, walked right by them. Why? Because they judged him as a street person, someone that was lower than they were. Yes, he made beautiful music, but he's not somebody they wanted to deal with. Little did they know that that person playing that violin was playing a violin worth $2 million, and that person was one of the most well-known violinists in the world. And the night before at the Symphony Hall, people paid up to $400 to sit in the seat to listen to play the same kind of music. Wrong judgment? Yes, wrong judgment. First impressions. And in the Gospels, we have the same thing happening. We see the story of the prodigal son and the generous father. And they had two sons, a younger son and an older son. And they both had an image of the father. And the first son said he had an image of the father where the father wasn't generous enough to him. And so he goes and he asks the father for his right to inheritance because he didn't think the father had given him enough, that the world had more to offer him. So he goes off. The father gives him the money and he goes out and squanders it, spends it on the good life, women, wine, song, until he gets broke. And then he comes back to the father. And what does he find? He doesn't find a father who's going to yell at him, scream at him, and anything like that. No, what does he do? He finds a father whose arm is open. Can't wait to have him come home. Come home. Be with me. Wrong judgment. Then we have the older son. The son who feels as though the father, in some ways, has also somehow hurt him. Because he was doing what was right. He was there, faithful to his father. He was there always doing the father's work. And yet he didn't feel the father was doing him any justice when he took back his brother, who had spent everything, wasted it, threw it away. But again, what does the father do? The father comes and begs him, please, son, come. Your son, your brother has come back. He's alive. Please welcome him. Yes, the prodigal father. The father who was loving, not the father who was judgmental, not the father that the two sons saw. And we have a father, God the Father. And how do we judge him? Is he a judge that sits on the throne and we are always afraid that he will punish us if we make a mistake? Or is he the loving Father? The Father that embraces us and forgives us and loves us beyond all comprehension. Yes, beware of first impressions. Beware of how you judge. For what you see may not be what is real.